Hello, welcome to Unfiltered with Mariat. I am here to have real conversations that inspire, challenge, and connect us. Together, we will dive into stories that matter, build authentic connections, and uncover strategies to grow capital, whether it's financial, social, or personal. No filters, no holding back, just impactful discussion with incredible changemakers and visionaries. Let's grow together. Join me. Unfiltered with Mariat. Well. Who do we have here? The power couple. I don't think anyone can take the title from you both. So I would just like you to do the honor to introduce yourselves because honestly, I'm just so inspired and pumped up just to have the two of you sitting right here in front of me. I'm kind of starstruck. I put that word. So, like Carl, I've always just admired you, like your discipline, your kindness, your soul. And, Sandy, I'll never be as fit as you, but at least it makes me dream of it one day I will do. But anyway, I'll give you the honor to introduce yourself. The power couple sitting in front of me, Kal and Sandy. Tell us about yourself. We'll start with you, Kal.
Well, you've already humbled us with your words, Mary. So thank you so much for having us on the show. Actually, you know what? It's a true privilege and honor being here. So thank you. But introducing myself, it's Kal Donsanjh, CEO and founder of KidsPlay Youth Foundation and active duty law enforcement officer.
Mariat, I love you. Your words are so kind. Thank you so much having us. My name is Sandy Dosanjh. I'm a mom of two teenagers. I'm a bodybuilder and a personal trainer.
Wow, bodybuilder. That is not something you get from most women to say, I'm a bodybuilder. Let's start with you, Sandy. I really love that. Just changing that mindset. It's just someone like me. I love to be a bodybuilder. I also admire and I appreciate you, the multi layer of what you do, because people don't really understand. Being a mom is a full time job, number one.
It is.
And number two, you do incredible well, like inspire women, not just the fact that you're a bodybuilder, but I see you online, just like someone who just, kick us off, go get yourself, healthy and do your exercise. What got you into bodybuilding?
I'm not sure if you know about my history. I came from India. I was born and raised in a small village where I wasn't given any opportunity to play any sports. So I grew up in a very simple family to be a housewife. So after having an arranged marriage, it's been 20 years now, Cal introduced me the gym. But at that time, because I was grown up so traditionally, I feel like it was against my values going to the gym and doing all that thing because
Was it more a feeling than a do a feeling? Like you feel it was against, but you wanted to do it, right?
At that time, no. I don't want to. I feel like what I supposed to stay home, cook, clean, and go to work. But eventually I started learning the Western lifestyle. As well as I got pregnant with my daughter. I gained some weight and then I got pregnant with my son. I gained more weight. That's the time when I understand the value of fitness. I was just trying to lose my weight. I was not actually in bodybuilding at all. But me, I always give my 100%, whatever I do.
Of course,
so
we know you,
when
Sandy.
I started losing my fat, I just wanted to do my best. And I didn't understand when I became the fittest in my
The fittest
gym.
and inspiring, the beautiful mom that's a bodybuilder. Give me a break, Sandy. Like this is more than fitness. This is like on a different level. And I think everyone should. I think it's for me when I see you, it's more about tapping into what we have ingrained in our subconsciousness that is impossible.
I think
And
we
doing the
all
possible. We all can go further. You mentioned something about arranged marriage. And I see the chemistry between you and Carl. Like Carl is just this amazing chief, like literally. He's a mayor of the whole of BC. I hope I don't get into trouble saying
I'm
that.
super amazing. It's just a super hat.
Well, honestly, yes, you are, Sandy. I'm not going to miss words with that, but it's a chemistry. So let's bring this chemistry over to Carl. Like, I've often spoken to some of my, lovely issue friends that not all the time they've had a great chemistry, but they've had to deal with it. They've had to put up with because this is what tradition demands, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm so happy to see both of you like the chemistry is just something that the love story inspires others to see the support. Like everywhere you go, Kal is there, supporting you, you likewise, and so tell us more, Kal, like what got that you know, chemistry so solidified?
Well, I got to be honest with you, Mariat. It's funny because I get comments all the time from South Asian women that send me messages or reach out to me and say, thank you for supporting your wife. And I find that very powerful.
That's where I'm going.
And
I
ironic.
was losing words.
I find that very powerful and ironic because I think to myself, and I respond to them, I say, isn't this the way it's supposed to be? If you think about it, like you're married to somebody, you're in a relationship with them, that relationship encompasses and entails mutual respect for one another.
Wow.
If she has an expectation of me, I also have an expectation of her. Is that respect goes both ways. If she's showing me respect, I show her respect. And that's the way it should be. A relationship is more than intimacy. It's also about helping each other elevate.
Yes, elevate. Right? That's the word. That's my favorite word these days, elevate.
So because I have goals, I have ambitions, so does she. And if she works hard to respect my goals and ambitions, I need to do the same for her. Unfortunately, in the South Asian community, I can say, traditionally speaking, historically speaking, not so much now, but if we look at it historically, it's always been very patriarchal. The women have been subjugated into positions of traditional roles where they're the homemakers, the mothers, and they've been told that cook and clean. And,
that's all you need to do.
Yeah, stay within that framework. And when you challenge that conventionalism, then all of a sudden you become a revolutionary, a rogue, right? And so in that respect, I've always been very liberal in my thinking process, despite growing up in a very traditional family. My thinking process, well, the irony of it all is our Sikhism is predicated on the principles and tenets that were formulated by our 10 gurus. And so God is one. We are a monotheist religion.
Yes.
But our 10 gurus taught us about universal principles in terms of how to live our lives the best way as a true Sikh. And our first guru, who was Guru Nanak, this was back in 1500. The very first principle that he came up with was equality for all.
Yes.
Because there is still, to this date, a caste system in India. And the lower caste, what they deem lower caste, they're subjugated and considered inferior.
Wow.
And back then, women were considered on the same level. And he said, enough with all this. He said, every human being is equal, regardless of who they are, gender, role, gender, ethnicity, caste, creed, religion, faith. It doesn't matter. Everybody is equal in the eyes of God. And that's why in the Sikh religion, if you go into any Sikh temple, the part of the Sikh temple, there's a room called the Langar room. And the Langar room is where everybody sits together and eats. And the reason why they made that is that the poor, the homeless, the hungry, and those with some status and creed, such as kings, everybody sits the same way. Everybody sits together, right? And it's all about equality, and we will take care of everyone equally.
Wow.
And that is very powerful. And that was what I was raised with, is with those principles. And so for me, it was extremely important making sure that I supported her throughout this entire journey. And you're absolutely right. It's just no marriage is without its bumps. And so having said that, there's always going to be ups and downs, but you learn to compromise. You learn to work together.
Elevate, compromise.
Absolutely.
If you're taking notes now, just speaking.
Yeah, I'm being very honest, because the thing is just like, if I was to say to you that, yes, there's beautiful chemistry all the time, no, there isn't.
But that's not going to be exciting, right? So tell us now you've taken me to the not so exciting. Sandy, what can you share with us, the non-exciting part, and how do you deal with that situations where marriage is not all the time rosy?
You know, him being so disciplinary all the time. I hate that. For example,
probably not allowing you have your chocolate bar or something like that.
Yes, when he comes home, we have stuff all over and we are just sitting on our sofa, enjoying our TV, eating our ice cream. He will come home. Whose shoes are here?
That sounds like my brother.
It's like, oh my
He
gosh.
loves my house when he comes there.
Kal, can you calm down? Can you be just relax? You came home after 12-hour shift. How do you have energy? Like to put all this discipline? We are just sitting and enjoying.
Sandy, it's not about energy. It was not having energy. It was releasing energy.
Yes.
To
there
giving
we go.
order.
He was releasing.
Venting.
No, that was not order.
Venting.
That was his way of releasing. Okay, I've just come home. This is my safe space. I was just holding it all together. Now let me just let it loose. Now, whose shoes are here? You shouldn't be putting your shoes here. And that sounds really like me.
Okay. So, all right. I think I'm the cool one
No,
here.
it's okay. Like, you have your quality because
Yes.
you can. So now tell us in that situation, he was releasing energy. What do you do? Do you release energy or do you just take it in and you just support him or?
Absolutely. I release all my energy in the gym. Those dumbbells.
Exactly. So this is what we're talking about, elevating each other and compromise. Compromising is you understanding this is Kal. Kal does not like shoes all around the place. Kal likes the house clean. So I'm just going to take it and suck it in. I know this is Kal. I'm not going to change him.
Yeah.
When he comes in tomorrow, we'll make sure the shoes are not there.
Okay. Sounds good. I actually take that word. Thank you.
Yeah, because I always say that to my kids. I'm not yelling. I'm just releasing my energy because you have no idea how my day has
There's
been.
a difference.
There's a difference, right?
All right.
So I'm just releasing the energy. I'm in a safe space. So just let me be. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like people ask me, oh, you're not going anywhere. Why don't you rest? Why are you clean? I say, you have no idea when I do my Saturday morning and my house is clean, spanking clean, and I put my feet up and I'm watching Netflix. You have no idea how I feel.
It's the best.
It's the best food you can ever have. I've walked myself out for 3 hours. You guys
share the same
now
values.
I can eat and put my feet up, eat healthy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, but doesn't mean I don't steal. I steal my moment and I just think about chocolate and I look for the 80%, 90% cocoa, so that I don't have those feelings. And we all have this guilt feeling. So let's talk about imposter syndrome and let's talk about KidsPlay. Imposter syndrome. Why I'm saying that is Kal works actively in the community, and so do you. And in terms of these kids and all of the changes going on with the world today, we're on a fast pace now. The world is, everything is rapidly changing and we're just trying to keep up with it. Imposter syndrome to me is so much weight on us. Like we go out there and be what the world wants us to be, or
absolutely
feeling we're not good enough to achieve this, right? So sometimes I've been wanting to ask Kal this question, like what got him into really supporting all of those kids. I've listened to so many stories. And how are you going to break that silo of our generation? We probably have lots of imposter syndrome. Sometimes you get a promotion, you'll be like, did I deserve it? Why is that me? So how do you feel like helping the new generation kids today to come out and be themselves, their authentic self, the real self in the world, and show up the way they need to show up and get to what they deserve and what they need to achieve?
Mariat, if you do anything with sincerity, authenticity, and genuineness, you'll never have this imposter syndrome because it comes from the heart.
Yes.
Right? That's part of your DNA, your genetic disposition, that's your programming, that's who you are. Right? Now, again, this is not some illusory or some artificial image that you've imposed on yourself. It's you. It's part of the fabric of your very soul and being. And this is who I am. The pain I've endured. And so when I say that, the things I've seen as an officer, I saw bodies lying around from overdoses and gang violence. Wow. And there was multiple incidents that eventually culminated to a point where it becomes a fork in the road. Either you become willfully blind and you walk away from it all and continue your life as normal, as in becoming assimilated into a larger process and forgetting about all that, saying, it's just my job. I'm going to do my job.
End it and walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Punch in, punch out, go home, done.
Or you turned around,
or
you did your job and you turned around, Kal.
100%. And there's the other side of the road, the other fork, where you walk away and you say to yourself, I'm going to do something about this, where my consciousness will not sit still. My consciousness will not sit still. And I cannot accept this. And I cannot look at myself in the face without doing something about it. Either you live by your principle or you
You say it is
die without
unfiltered with
something,
Mariat.
right?
Yeah.
And so I'm the type of person, like I said, I grew up in a very traditional Sikh family, listened to stories of gurus that sacrificed so much, their entire families for a greater good, right? For principle. And so who am I that I can just walk away from all this? So I needed to be true to myself. And so I was. And so I stood up for something.
That's so powerful, Kal, because honestly, I'm one of your biggest fans. So maybe I should make a confession now. And the reason why is like you seriously reminds me of my dad. Not just the work you do, but the looks, the face, the eyes. And I get even sometimes I take my eyes away. Traditionally, we were brought up in the way that we don't look into people's eyes, not especially men, right? You just have to look away when you're talking. But there's just this presence you occupy in my life, and I wanted to share that with you honorably today.
You know what? Thank you, Marian. That actually means a lot to me. That's actually
I'm trying to even own myself because my dad did so much, and I see it's not the passion and the work that you do day in, day night, the drive, and just to make sure you get another kid off the street and we have a purpose. And that kid could just be someone who could save someone in the hospital one day, or someone who could bring so many important thoughts into our head and change the world.
Yeah.
They are future.
Mariat, see, the thing is, and that's what hurts me the most, is when I have to hear from others that say to me, why do you do so much? And I'll share this story with you is I hear it often. And it's almost as a form of criticism and judgment. It's like, what's in it for you? Why do you do so much? How many do you think you're going to save? What difference does it make?
I don't see it that way. I see it like, what can we do for you that you do so much? That's the way we say it.
No, but it's
like there's a lot of self-care that like...
Yeah.
But you have to appreciate society has become so hardened, calloused, and cynical that they prefer to take this approach where it's if anybody's trying to do tremendous amount of good within the community, it's like, why? Why do you do so much? Because they almost see it as an exercise in futility. It's like for every kid.
Kal, I won't worry about that because your mindset is not where they are. And I think people need to learn how to change their mindset and get really educated and learn how to show empathy and really be genuine. Like you said, if you are genuine about what you're doing and you're authentic about it and you have the real passion and the drive for it and why you want to do something and make a difference, which you are doing, sires are going to rise up. People are going to talk. People are going to ask, was it for Kal? Why is he doing this? And you might hear that a lot, but you are also educating those people who are talking in a negative way, how they can show up for the world too. They might not admit it, but you're really changing them.
That's exactly it.
You're changing them.
That's my whole goal, is to serve as an example.
You are.
To inspire others to do the same. I don't want to be this redeemer or provide salvation to all these kids. I want to do as much as I can within my capacity. And I just want to inspire others to do the same.
Because because what you're doing, you're inspiring me as well. You're inspiring a lot of people out there because, Kal, you're doing a tremendous work and you're making a lot of impact. But the thing is, you need to continue doing what you can and how you can so that you can get a lot more people like Kal who can come join you so that you can get more reach. And if people, what I mean, reach out more to more kids who need the support, because the reach is the impact. You can do 100 children, but when you inspire me, inspire Sandy, inspire, which you've already done, you inspire so many of us, we can start reaching 1,000 kids, 2,000 kids, right? So it doesn't have to be Kal. So this is the mindset people have to get and say, hey, Kal, I see what you're doing. You're doing tremendous work. You did an amazing work. How can I support you?
Yes.
Rather, what is it for you? Why are you doing this work?
And this is, I'll tell you a story. I approached a mentor of mine because I became very disheartened, very discouraged, even though I should know better. I approached a mentor of mine. I said, you know what, how do I deal with these kinds of comments? Because I'm hearing regularly, how many do you think you're going to save? What difference does it make? And my mentor told me the following story. He said a young boy was walking on a beach and the tide had receded quickly. And there were thousands of starfish that were dying on the beach. And this boy would pick up one starfish at a time and put it back in the ocean.
One at a time.
And put it back in the ocean. And an elderly gentleman that was walking the other way saw the boy and thought to himself, how silly. How many does he think he's going to save? So he approaches the boy and says to the boy, look around you. The tide's already gone. There's thousands of starfish and you're picking up one at a time and you're putting it back into the ocean. How many do you think you're going to save? What difference does it make? And in response, the boy picks up a starfish, puts it in the ocean and says, ask that starfish what difference it makes. And that's exactly my thought process here. And that's the thought process I take to move forward, is that it doesn't matter how many I save. I will do whatever it is my capacity to do what I can.
It's the impact.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So I made a mantra. I talk about this mantra. I'm sure Sanjay has heard me say this, and I say better, not bitter. And recently,
Right.
I added something to it. Better, not bitter, saves lives. And to me, if it's one life, that's a lot of life.
Yes, that's a lot of life. 100%. Amen to that.
So
Exactly.
it's all about mindset. When you said you usually feel a certain way when you hear this, remember, this is not all about you now. This is about changing the mindset of those who are thinking like this. What can you do? Maybe then is an avenue for you to become creative about, maybe we'll still have to go in now and start changing mindset of these adults, because we need them to be supportive to these children. Just saying it out loud.
Right, it's been so challenging. You can ask Sandy. Like, it has been so challenging. Like, it just blows my mind sometimes at the amount of time, energy, commitment we've put into this and what we've had to sacrifice to make that difference within the community. And it has not been easy. And I didn't expect it to be.
What do you do for self-care? And this is not about, I know, anyone who looks at you, first thing, wow, fit, balance, disciplined. Let's put all of that away. Mm-hmm. What do you do for self-care?
For me, there's just two things very specifically: exercise and meditation.
I love the meditation part, because every day I can't survive without my meditation. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting down there and I'm zoned off. Yeah. And the energy it gives me and just refresh me. So while I'm sharing this, no matter what they've thrown at you, take those bricks thrown at you and build yourself a huge castle.
Right. Exactly.
Because
that's exactly
meditation just refreshes you and you just forget all about it, and there's a job to get done. And we're going there, we're going to go save lives.
100%.
And that's what KidsPlay does. Yeah.
100%. Yes. You know what? Yeah. Thank you for understanding.
So talking about KidsPlay and talking about saving lives, talking about arranged marriage, will you arrange a marriage for your daughter or your son?
Well, do you even know the story of the arranged marriage?
I know a lot of arranged marriage and I attend weddings. Listen, I'm a black woman, but in an Indian mindset, to put it that way. Like, literally, I make my own roti. I'm going to be the perfect bride, the perfect bride for any Indian mother-in-law that wants me. I cook the best curry. I can go vegetarian.
Okay,
I can
we will make sure.
Okay, so anybody watching.
Yes. But yeah, I think I like to know, and I think the audience want to know, will you want to arrange marriage for your daughter or even your son?
So when you say arranged marriage,
like, will you see a perfect girl and say, I'm bringing that girl home, my son has to meet this girl? Kal, will you do that?
Yeah, this was not anticipated. And so this was not anticipated. This was like, when we say arranged, like no one even knew what was happening until it was done.
Really?
Oh, 100%. She can tell you the story as well, because it just happened. And so, but I want to answer your question, is that would we consider arranged marriage for our kids? It's not arranged as in
traditional way.
The traditional way. Mm-hmm. For example, my mom and dad, they met on the day of the
I want to bring. Can I interview them? Are they still with us for me to go find or something? I really want to know more.
100%. You can try interviewing them. My dad's not much of an interviewer. My mom would definitely have a lot to say. Women always do. But yeah, so the traditional sense of arranged marriage, mom and dad met on the day of their marriage. With us, I think it would be essentially the same thing for our kids, as well as that we could potentially introduce them to somebody, and the rest is between them.
I think that's not arranged really when you potentially introduce because well, but
Yes.
I feel the difference is not not to impose that that's it on nobody, but like I see someone that might be of interest, or how will you put that? Is it more of you have to? Yes, like there's no.
Putting it that way, like I'm gonna put it all in context. So because people are out there are probably curious, it's like, what are they talking about? What's going on? Yeah, what are they talking about here? So I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
And so the story was that I had gone to India back in 2004 for my uncle's marriage.
Right.
And so we had relatives from all over the world that came. So there was the Canadians, there was the British, there was the Americans, there was Indians. Like people from all over the world came to India, to that village, to celebrate my uncle's wedding. And so we were having a good time. And celebrations and festivities were happening. And the very second day of our arrival, my parents come up to me and they're like, we got to introduce you to a girl. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, what are you talking about? I'm here for a marriage, my uncle's marriage. We're having a good time. And you guys are talking about getting me married and want to introduce me to somebody. I'm not interested. Well, they kept up with it. Like it was literally harassment.
It was a perfect time. Love was in the hair anyway. There was a wedding going on, so it was perfect energy. What do you mean?
Right? What do you mean? The atmosphere was there, right?
The atmosphere was already ready, and the gods were not playing.
Right?
And it was a perfect peak.
Yeah, it was. That's exactly it. The moon was in the right position.
Exactly.
So they kept pushing and pushing over the last couple of days, and I was like, fine. I'll be very honest with you. I thought to myself, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the village, probably end up seeing the girl. It's going to be a no, and I'll just walk away, and that'll be the end of that. And then I can get on with all the festivities and the
So you've been disciplined a long time.
Right? And that was the plan, is that like that's exactly how it's going to be because they wouldn't stop. Literally, it was incessant. That night, because we were supposed to go to her village the next day, that night I had a quarter in my pocket. And I was by myself and out of sheer personal entertainment, I said, heads, I get married, tails, no. And so I flipped the coin. It falls out of my hand and goes under the bed. And the beds in India are very shallow.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to reach underneath the bed to go grab it. I was like, forget it. It's gone. And so on that note, I went to sleep. The next day, we head out and we arrive in a small town beside her village. And her aunt is waiting in front for us. And the aunt's like, come on inside. So she takes us into the restaurant. And the restaurant, the curtain peels aside, and there's a big auditorium room in the back. And I swear to God, Mariat, it seemed like the entire village had showed up. There was almost like 70 people that were sitting back there. It was huge.
70.
Yeah, okay,
They
what?
were
Like
waiting on
65?
you.
Because all uncle and aunts, they want to come.
That's the thing I love about the Indian culture, right?
Well, Nigerian culture is the same way.
You don't go dating the woman alone. You're like,
You date the family.
the cousin, the niece. Like, you gotta see the whole package and know what you're coming in for. I love it.
That's exactly what Nigerians
It's a
are the
Nigerian
same
thing
thing.
too, and they're so loud too. Like they probably will whisper in your ears and say, "Why is he coming and wearing those stuff like that?" They'll be saying things like that so that you can hear.
This is exactly.
There is no marriage like an Indian-Nigerian marriage. Honestly,
both cultures are the same thing. That's why
I
you get
have
along
a couple Nigerian Indian couple, and I just laugh when we sit down together. I was like, wow, like
there's lots of them actually.
Lots. On that note, Sandy, I want to kind of like round this up with you because we've been talking about your marriage and how you guys met and everything. I got to allow Kal answer me about the whole arranged thing about your daughter. I know Kal is very disciplined. I'm sure his daughter is his best friend. I can feel from his voice and say, what are you talking about? Like, I'm going to make sure she has the right dude coming in the house. So what's your take?
I think
Are you this mom? Are you going to be like, just, you know what?
No, I have raised her very, very independent, very strong woman. I think I am going to let her choose. Let her make
I knew this was coming.
Yeah. She has a good head on her shoulders. She will make a good decision.
So let's round up. I love what you just said. I have raised her. So you're confident of the child that you've raised.
Absolutely.
Because this is a big, huge country. Like
Yeah.
I've come from Nigeria, England, and I'm here.
Mhm.
And there's so many things that we just pray to God that our kids don't, get themselves exposed to. But I can tell from that sentence you've just made that I have raised her. So, what is your message to every mom out there? Just one sentence.
Don't compromise over your kids.
That's powerful.
It can be a many
Very
many
for me,
ways. It
that
could
is
be a
kind of a little bit
time.
spiritual
Yeah.
for me now
Mhm.
because there's a lot of thinking coming through my head when you said that. Sometimes you have to help them make that right,
Yeah.
guide them through their.
We do that
Yeah.
in this modern world. Sometimes we like to compromise, just maybe going out to make some friends happy over our kids. I don't do that.
You always say that my kids are the ones I hang around with. They're my best friends. We go hang
Unless
around,
their
we spend
needs are
time.
done, I'm not going to hand them iPad and tell them, hey, you sit there for 2 hours while mom is hanging out. I don't do that. I will make sure they're not missing their sports. They're not missing their homework. When they're done, they're free. I will do.
So let's say, let kids play and play the right way. Thank you, Kal and Sandy, joining us on Unfiltered with Mariat today. It was just such a pleasure to have both of you.
Thank you so much.
Mariat, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
That's a wrap for this episode of Unfiltered with Mariat, where we dive deep, challenge the norms, keep it real. And if today's conversation resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your network and leave a review and subscribe. Let's keep the dialogue going. Connect with me on Instagram at I am Mariat Ali. And if you have a story or topic you'd love to hear, slide into my DM or visit mariatjibril.com. Until next time, stay bold, stay unfiltered.